The SGX Nifty this morning indicating an uptick of about 0.5%, but let's find out what our chartists make of the market setup. Nooresh, Merani and Kunal Botra joining in on the show. Good morning, gentlemen. And Kunal, going to begin with you. Yesterday, we put the brakes on that gaining streak, looking like we're finding a little bit of a hurdle crossing the 18,500 mark with conviction. What's your sense? Will we be able to cross it?
Good morning, Aman. So I think largely the action yesterday was restricted towards the expiry, especially in the last, I think half an hour, last 1 hour, where we saw some selling coming across in the banking index, where it was down some 250, 300 points at the end. So I think it was more due to the expiry action because there was no significant change in terms of data points. The internals of the banking index as well was a lot more mixed. That indicates that this was more to do with the adjustment of positions, due to the weekly expiry. But net, I think even if you look at the markets over the last many days, we've seen that 18,400, which was the previous support for the Nifty, previous resistance for the Nifty, that is now acting as a support. Yes, we've retested the 18,500 mark, but we are still comfortably above 100 points above the major support. And assuming if the SGX 50 opens up with 75, 80 plus points, kind of a gap up, then we could be adding another cushion to the support for the index. So I believe the bias has to be on the bullish side. 18,400 remains to be a crucial support on the short-term basis. Until the time we trade above these levels, I think traders should look to hold on to their long positions and not worry too much about the intraday volatility on the indices.
Not worry too much about the intraday volatility on the indices. Is that a similar view coming in from you, Nooresh, as well, that continue to maintain the positive stance at the index level?
Absolutely the same. So the view is similar. 18,400, 500 is now acting as a support. And now it becomes a buy on dips. We've seen a correction and a pause. And overall, we've started seeing good momentum across the world as well. So the trend is not just in India. We've started seeing momentum across the world. Now, in this case, the view is at 18,500, 18,600. We should get a pause around 18,800, 18,900. So you want to be buying on the dips for a better risk reward. And secondly, stocks look more interesting because that is where the momentum is. Yesterday, as well as in the last two sessions, we've seen the mid-cap and the small-cap indices outperform the Nifty. And that is going to be the case going forward. Unless we start seeing a huge participation in two heavies, which is basically Reliance and HDFC Twins. Apart from that, we are not seeing strong momentum even in the Kotak Mahindra Bank or IT names in a big way. So overall, 40% of the index is still not trending in a, not in a similar stage, just like the Nifty is, which is 2% away from an all-time high. So once we get a recovery or a trend in these names, then maybe we could be looking at a much higher level. So overall, the view is positive. Buy on dips on both the Nifty as well as the Bank Nifty, and be more stock specific.
All right, so that's the view coming in on the Nifty and the Nifty Bank. But what about individual stock strategies? And Kunal, what looks good on the charts this Friday morning?
So two buy calls which I would want to suggest. One is Tata Communication, the stock which we discussed I think a week back when it was at 1220, 1230 levels. Very interesting chart. The stock has now crossed above the 1300 levels quite comfortably. I believe that the momentum is extremely strong. The chart patterns are very robust for Tata Communication. The stock has confirmed a breakout of the swing resistances as well as a confirmation of its 200 moving average. All of that is extremely positive. Suggesting a buy, revised targets of 1380. Stop loss could be traded to 1300. And Aurobindo Pharma is the other stock which I believe could probably be into a strong momentum zone over the next couple of days. My sense is that most of the pharma stocks are looking extremely attractive and they've got back into that momentum zinc for themselves. So Aurobindo Pharma is what I would bet on from a short-term basis. 675 as target, stop loss at 645.
Momentum on Aurobindo Pharma as well as Tata Communication, and Kunal suggests you ride that momentum. Where are you seeing the momentum today, Nooresh?
So looking at more mid caps and the out of the Nifty stocks, first is a buy on Bharat Forge. The stock has now started showing momentum in the last three sessions. A short-term trendline breakout above that 790 mark. Double bottom done at 760. Overall from 2018, 800, 850 has been a resistance. Tried to cross it one time before, again flipped back lower, and now seems like a new trend setting up, and the whole space is doing well. So out here, we've seen the mid caps and the small caps in a similar sector actually hit new all-time highs. Expecting Bharat Forge to also catch up. Expecting a target price of 900 in the short term, a stop loss at 770. Second is a buy on Mahindra and Mahindra Finance, stop loss at 280 and a target price of 340. If you look at the whole NBFC space, we've seen good momentum in NBFC as well as MFIs. The first one in the NBFC space, which really started outperforming, was Mahindra and Mahindra Finance. The stock again came close to the previous 52-week high, so a flag breakout done here. So what we see is generally when a stock catches momentum and is the leader, the legs continue much higher than we expect. So expecting another leg up for Mahindra and Mahindra Finance.
Right, there you have it. Those are your top trading recommendations from our charters.